Hello and welcome to Hybrid, powered by chinkseyMEDIA. We progressed to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup with a 2-0 win over Brighton and Hove Albion, and following the victory, Mikel Arteta faced the press at the Emirates Stadium. Ethan Nwaneri and Bukayo Saka both found the net in a victory in N5, and after the match, Mikel gave his verdict on the victory. On progressing to the quarterfinal, a very special evening, to be fair. Very happy for various reasons. Obviously, we are in the quarterfinals. We won the game against a really tough opponent. We made 10 changes. We played players that never played together. Yet we had two huge debuts for Max Dowman and Harriman-Annous. That feeling of giving the opportunity to somebody and fulfilling a dream is unique. I'm very happy that things turned out to be very positive and we managed to win the game. On Harriman-Annous' performance, well, since pre-season when he was with us, I was really impressed with him. First of all, his mentality, how much he wants it. That's the first ingredient. He's desperate to achieve his dream. I think he's been very consistent, training with us and constantly giving us the option to pick him. I believe today was the right day for him, for the context, for the way he's playing as well. He certainly proved that he's got a chance. Well, Harriman-Annous, I'll be real with you. Before yesterday, I hadn't heard of him. I need to do better. But for me, I felt he did well. He put himself about. He showed a lot of endeavour. And to be honest, I'm sure we're going to talk about Max Dowman later on in the podcast. But I didn't think he looked tired. Obviously, Mikel made a lot of changes, but one thing that was good was the first team were on the bench, and I saw them warming up towards the end of the first half, which the game plan was clearly to kind of stay in the game, 0-0, 1-0 down, possibly even 1-0 up towards the second half, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, bring on the first team, see out the game, win the game if necessary. And that's what happened. On if academy players coming through at the same time is deliberate. No, it's not. That's what it is, and I'm very happy with both of them today. Miles as well. Ethan scoring a goal, Bukayo scoring a goal. So two academy graduates taking us to the quarterfinals. Again, it was special, emotional evening, and until the next one on Saturday. Yeah, it was good. I mean, yesterday was a really important night for Ethan Nwaneri. I mean, if there was one player that needed that night, that needed a performance that night, it was definitely him. And he got himself a very good goal. I'm glad he got a full 90 minutes in the game. He needed that. I'm sure the goal will do him the world of confidence, his first goal of the season. And then obviously Bukayo Saka coming on as a sub, he got himself a rest, came on, saw the game out, got the finisher, got the winner. We're back in the quarterfinals to play Crystal Palace like we did last season. On Max finding out he was starting, a tiny smile, that's what you get from him. For him, everything is natural. For him, everything is okay. It's the way he plays. I think that's the secret, that he doesn't make a big fuss of it. He just does what he does best, which is to play football. To play football with a lot of courage and determination. Today, again, he's shown some incredible skill, some capacity to run past players at that level in the Premier League at 15. It's definitely special. Yeah, Max Dowman, obviously there's an interview of him on my channel. He's just so laid back, nothing really phases him at all. Quite quiet, shy, reserved, I would say, but confident, quietly confident. So for him to react like that, a little smile, doesn't surprise me, because he just takes everything in his stride. And at the age of 15, to do what he's doing is never been seen before. It's unprecedented, and long may it continue. On Dowman's hunger to start more games. For sure, if you ask him, for sure, that's what we have to manage. Not only that, there are a lot of new things in his life. We discussed that a few days ago. Make sure that he does the right steps, that he behaves and accepts, because he's going to go with this one, then he's going to play in a different team. And he needs to cope with all that, because it's happening very, very fast, and we need to be aware of that. Let's encourage him to keep going that way, but let's protect him as well. Yeah, I mean, some weeks Max is with the first team squad on the bench, and some weeks he's with the under-21s. And don't forget, he's 15, so to be with under-21s is unbelievable, because usually a 15-year-old will be with under-16s or under-18s. And then, let alone under 21s, he's with the first team squad. Every time Max is on the bench for the first team squad, it means a top first team player is in the stands. So that shows you how good and what a precocious talent he is. On having the right role models around the young players, yeah, it does. And the more senior ones as well. They believe that they're going to have a pathway. If they earn it, it doesn't matter how you're called up, you're going to get a chance. They know that, they believe in that, and they really want it, which is the most important thing. Yeah, it's good that we've got a good core of young players that have come from the youth team. So obviously there's 3 or 4. There's Saka, Max Dowman, Ethan Nwaneri, and Miles Lewis-Skelly. And, you know, there's been times where all 4 of them have featured. And obviously the young player that played yesterday in Harriman-Annous is another one. So it shows that if you're good enough, if you show hunger, spirit, determination, resilience, then you have an opportunity to be in there. On why there were no changes after a difficult first half, because it had nothing to do with them. It's some very sloppy giveaways that we did give in very dangerous areas. We didn't apply 2 or 3 rules that we always have in second phases, for example, and we could have been punished. Kepa made a brilliant save. They made another big chance. It was more a feeling that we were struggling a bit. But to be fair, I expected that. When you make 10 changes and you put out players that have never played together before, some of them, they haven't played much as well this season, you have to gamble. But I was ready to take that risk, and in the second half I thought, okay, we have to start the next 10-15 minutes in a different way. We certainly did that, and the game shifted momentum. Yeah, I agree with that. I would say, to summarise yesterday, it was a game of 2 halves. In the first half, I felt Brighton had chances, although we did too, but Brighton had gilt-edged chances, and they could have literally been 2 or 3 up, and the game would have been done and dead and buried. However, in the second half, I felt we started it well. We set ourselves up to win the game. We went 1-0 up, and then Arteta brought the first team players out, and then from then on, we was never going to lose that game. On Mosquera and Hincapie's partnership tonight, very good. I think those 2 are going to complement each other really, really well. I'm very happy with that, with what I've seen. Again, they've never played together. I think they've trained 2 or 3 times together, and that will keep improving, but I'm very happy. Yeah, I mean, Mosquera's got a lot of football. For me, he was the best player in the first half for sure, and one of the best players on the pitch. He may well have been our best player yesterday, although you might want to give it to people like Dowman or Nwaneri, who obviously Nwaneri scored a good goal, and Max Dowman was just really good, electric throughout the night. But Hincapie, obviously it's his first start for the football club. Not match fit at this stage, but that's normal considering that he's hardly played any football. I believe he's made only 3 appearances. But the more appearances he does make, I'm sure the more the match fitness will come as a result. On having the depth to play in a multiple of competitions, it's going to make us stronger because, again, the easy thing is to maybe make some changes in that moment. I really believe in them. We could adjust a few things and be better, improve certain individuals with certain positions as well, that I think it was important. And after that, now they have a good feeling that they can compete and beat a really good Premier League team. Overall, we have to learn. Yeah, I mean, as I said yesterday, having a squad of players, you need to utilise the squad, but at the same time, I think you need to kind of attune it to the opponent. So, for instance, we got lucky yesterday because I didn't think that team was good enough and sufficient enough to come past the Brighton team, who are a really good team. However, we rode our luck, and then we kind of came through it and won. Against Crystal Palace is going to be something similar, if not more. I think we need our first team to beat Crystal Palace, if not, albeit probably 2 or 3 changes max, as I said, against Brighton. But yeah, I mean, as we come closer to the time, context will change. We may well be 2 points ahead in the league. We may well be second. We might be 10 points ahead. So I think, according to the context of the season, would determine what we can do in that game. But I mean, it's a quarter-finals and a remarkable chance to get back to the semi-finals where we got to last season. So I don't think we can waste this opportunity, especially that we're at home again. On Kepa's performance, he was really good today, and I'm not surprised. I said it a few days ago, the way he behaves, trains, the way he's connected to the team at all times, he's going to prepare It's going to prepare him for these moments. And today, certainly he was ready. Yeah, Kepa played really well. He made a few good saves in the game. He looked sharp. But it's good to have a good, very, very good number two. A better number two than most keepers in the league. I mean, don't forget he's the most expensive goalkeeper in football history. So that tells you all you need to know. So it's good to have him as backup to Raya, that Raya's a world-class goalkeeper, but he was able to have a rest and we didn't need to worry about that. On Nwaneri getting on a score sheet, really good. He came on the other day as well, and he's going to have those chances, and when he has, he takes it. He needs to make the most out of it. I think he took the goal really well, really, really well. He had some actions, some of them, they weren't that effective, but what I liked is that he kept trying and making risks, and he didn't change that behaviour and determination to make things happen. And at the end, he got rewarded with a brilliant goal. Yeah, that's the thing with Nwaneri. He's not scared to try. And people like him and Eze and Dowman are kind of the flair players in the team, and obviously we need them to kind of try. It's not always going to come off, but it's the intent that matters. The goal he took was a really good goal. Not an easy finish, but he buried it really well, and I'm sure that he's going to get more chances coming up in the near future. On what the full squad bring to the team, when we need them, they are there and they are ready. Again, we have a lot of injured players in the front line, so we could see we have the depth. But today we were struggling with some positions already, and it's October. We're going to need them. It was a great test for them, and I take a lot of learning from it. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned yesterday, if you've said that you've promised Ben White a lot of fixtures, people like Nwaneri as well, Lewis Skelly, then you got to assume that those fixtures will come in the Carabao Cup, because people like Calafiori, Timber, Zubimendi, they're the first choice players in their positions, and that's down to their performances this season. So if you want to utilise the squad, then people like Ben White, Hincapie, Lewis Skelly, Christhian will have to seize their opportunities in the cups, and so long as they play well, then we're almost certainly going to win that particular game, and then that gives them another game in the next round, and then so on and so forth. On trusting the starting 11, 100%, especially because it was nothing to do with them. It was something to do more with all of the stuff that we could have done better, and I think in the second half they continue. It's a shame that Andre didn't take the chance he had 1v1, because it would have been an incredible moment for him. But overall, very positive. Yeah, to be honest, I was in the stadium. I don't recall the 1v1. I remember, or maybe it was that I didn't know it was him that had the 1v1. But yeah, in the first half, we did have a few chances. I just feel like Brighton had more clear-cut chances, and they definitely should have been ahead. There definitely should have been daylight between Arsenal and Brighton in their favour. However, they didn't take it, and in the second half, I felt like our quality showed. Towards the end of the game, we coasted to the victory. On whether there was any specific instructions for Nwaneri, no to all of them, that we have to be very aggressive when we have the chance. They were going man-to-man as well. They were very aggressive in our first phase. Once we unlocked that, we had a lot of spaces, and we certainly exploited that much better in the second half. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I felt like, obviously, in the first half, it was an open game. Well, it was an open game, period. And that's what you always get with Brighton. They're not a side that kind of sit in a low block. They're a side that kind of come at you. So that's why they always have successes against the top sides, because it's always an open game, and, you know, they've got players that can hurt you. I feel like also, in terms of Brighton's squad, their squad is like a base level. They're probably all a 7 or an 8. So when one player comes out, another player on the same level will come in, and there's not much of a drop-off.